Welcome back, everybody. It is Season 4 with the Arkansas State Red Wolves, and we are playing our very first game in the new conference today. After winning the Sun Belt last year, we've now taken this team into the American Conference, where we hope to develop this team into the next that joins the SEC. And today we're playing the Rice Owls in our debut game in the American. We're going to face much tougher conference competition this year compared to what was in the Sun Belt. The Owls have a really good quarterback in Patrick Creighton Jr., like Patrick Creighton that played for the Cowboys? Yup, that's him. He leads this Owls offense alongside Lyle Dixon, Carl Jenkins Jr., and in the backfield, they will have Brian Almas, an 80 overall starter with 90 speed, 78 strength. I'm excited to face tougher teams, get more tested for the big games that we're going to play on our schedule. And it's kind of interesting to see the identity of some of these teams where we do have some really good standout corners or edge rushers. Nate Jamison here is their top-rated player, and he's at cornerback. He's better than anybody Arkansas had in Week 1, keep in mind. Very fast. His coverage ratings are actually a little bit lower than I would think for an 89, but he's an exceptional athlete, and that's probably helping out the overall a little bit there. He's also very good in press coverage. Riley Pettyjohn, one of their linebackers, has 89 speed, 93 acceleration. There's a lot more general team speed that we're going to see, too, in comparison to the Sun Belt. Edge rusher, Kalaj Cobbins, 99 agility, 94 acceleration. He's got a very fast get-off. He'll combine that with 79 power moves and a skill set that lends well to stopping the run. We opened the season with a big win against Arkansas, winning 23-20. I thought that was a great win for us. Watching it back, I thought, KJ Jackson had a few misses that really hurt them. But our defense to sack him, I think it was 3 or 4 times in the fourth quarter, forcing 4 fourth quarter punts, allowing no points. That was so huge for us. Now let's take that momentum into the American Conference. The season's first road trip brings us to Houston, Texas, as the Owls look to spoil our debut here in the American. These teams won't want to see the newcomers come in and dominate. Let's play some football, everybody. Welcome back to Season 4 of the Arkansas State Dynasty. We are underway. At the goal line, this has taken Lonnie Weil to about the 15 and stopped at the 17-yard line. Patrick Creighton Jr. takes the field. Will he be able to hit those big plays that eluded Arkansas? And will our defense find a way to make as many plays as they did against the Razorbacks? It's a run on first down and stuffed in the backfield. A loss of 2. It's Grant Bierman on the tackle. He showed up quite a bit in that first matchup. Backed up now for second down and 2. And motion the tight end and keep it in the hands of Creighton now. And he goes down with a gain of 2. On this screen, you can see Patrick Creighton has really good short and medium accuracy. That was not the case for KJ Jackson, who missed some key throws, including a ball that was intercepted on one of their drives into the red zone. First third down now for Creighton. He's got time, and it's dropped. Receiver let him down. 3 and out, no yards gained on the drive, and here's J.J. Harrell with a quick cut to the left and dropped at the 44-yard line. Here comes the quarterback Duncan Grant, who I thought looked good in that first matchup, but we threw for around 250 yards. To satisfy the deal breaker for our quarterback that we're developing, Gerald Ogletree, the freshman, we're going to want to throw for about 270-ish a game. If we throw 250 in one of our toughest games on the year, I think we're going to have a good chance. First and 10. And it's a run to get us started. A short pickup to Pokai Hunga. Motioning Jabari Bush. It is another run. And Hunga with the ball on the ground, and it's recovered by Rice. Take it inside the 20, run all the way back. Should this stand? I kind of think that ball was out. On second look here, there was a pretty good hit, but the knee appears down. We challenge the call. And let's see the aftermath here. They have given it back. We've had a couple close calls already. One was reversed against Arkansas. Now 3rd down and 6. Heading to the air, trying to beat this blitz, and the throw is low. When receivers collide there, you're going to have a bad time. Ball comes out a little bit awkwardly there, and we are going to punt it. And Randall sends this one deep. And we're not going to pin him inside the 20 at all here. Nice little run back. Running inside, and a good pickup on 1st down as they go to Eric Powell, the fullback. Classic formation here from the Gopher Dynasty. Who remembers those days? Full house pistol, give to the fullback again, and Powell loses a yard. Really? 3rd and 5, a goal line set. Running it to the edge, they got it. They didn't care if it was predictable. We're going to run the ball. You're not going to stop it. That is a bizarre call inside your own 40, 3rd and 5, to run a play from your goal line package. Another run for Almas, and he will gain 4. He should be their lead running back. Creighton, he's going to keep it by design. Charlie Collins just too strong, and he wrecks the play. 3rd down, Rice keeping it on the ground. What is this team's philosophy? They are going to punt. I am so confused. How am I supposed to call defense against this team? Just try to stop the run on 3rd and 8? Still scoreless here. We got to avoid this delay of game, and the play had built-in motion, so I'm going to burn a timeout. Starting off drive number 2, and it's a pitch. Keontae Bargava back to the line of scrimmage. We're back to pass now, and Grant's first completion goes to Xavier Johnson. Looking for that first conversion now, and we head to the air, rolling, and Johnson stops short. I got a little greedy on that play. I didn't throw it to that first guy through for whatever reason. Thought we'd get Johnson next with a little bit more room. So a very ugly start here offensively on both sides. Full house running this, and caught on the outside by Noteboom. It's a loss. They've only attempted 1 pass so far. This has to be one. Or it doesn't. 2nd and 12 on the ground, and they lose 2. No way. No way is that your formation. I've never seen anything like this. Don't you jump in the neutral zone. Noteboom got back. We gave it up again. I can't. 3rd and 14. This is one of the most unnecessary things I've ever seen in this game. Just a goal line toss to the outside, and we can't make a play. What is the offense? Who is the coordinator? Direct snap to the running back. All over that. Back to pass. Actually throwing. Creighton over the top. Caught inside the 10. Never saw it coming. Now I can kind of understand the offense down here. Running to the right, and to the edge they go. Brian Almas, touchdown. Having success getting to the edge, too. That's something we have to correct. Rice scores first in the most bizarre way ever on this channel. When you package up that entire possession. You know, it reminds me of like when I would go online to play a game like Madden, which I haven't done much of in a very long time. But like, You could either learn the meta and try to get better at whatever's popular against somebody while they run the same garbage. Or you can just run like a pro-style offense and they won't know how to defend it because it's so different from what they're used to seeing. It's that, but in a much more bizarre fashion. That's what Rice just did to me. How can I prepare for that? Drive number 3 starts with a loss of half a yard maybe. Grant heads back to the air and throws over the middle. It's hauled in by Jabari Bush. That was one of the weirdest quarters of football I've ever played. We can't even communicate hot routes right now cleanly. It's Grant on second down, pulled down by J.J. Harrell. And now third down and 3. It's out. It's caught. Xavier Johnson. Xavier Johnson in motion. Over the middle. It's caught. And that's J.J. Harrell. Got it past that linebacker. Very slow start running the football. Trying to pick up the pace. Hunga cuts it out. Brought down inside the Owl 20. Checking in is number 24, running back Steven Katula. And we'll give him a carry. What a play by the linebacker. Third down and 5. Owls trying to end the drive here, and they bring pressure. Grant's throw is incomplete through the hands of J.J. Harrell. Field goal try, short range. Clayton Amaya got it. We're on the board. Now, what are we going to be defending this time? Rice football up 4, and they run. A big hole opens up on first down, and they'll get 8. Second straight to Almas, and gets the first down yardage. He's throwing on the RPO, but it gets broken up by Marcus Gorey. It's such an interesting offense they're running as it's dumped outside, almost brought down at the 38. But it's like, sure, you could force this team to throw, maybe be a tad more predictable than what they are. But Creighton and his accuracies are really, really good. So it's hard to say if that is better. Here's a give. Collins is there, and they do not get the first down. And no fake, they punt it away. J.J. Harrell from the 12. Brought down around the 25. We're going to spread the defense out to begin this possession. And here's a quick one. Xavier Johnson gets 6. I spent our second time out to get into a new play. Didn't like the last look that we had. Can't even hear, just protect. That's all we're asking here. Third down and 5. And somehow held on to by Bush, but he was a half yard short. So both teams end up punting away 4th and inches opportunities as Rice has it with 4:24 to play. Inside give, not much on that. If we can just start winning on first down, that's kind of the key to stopping any run-first offense. Second down and 8. It's Almas. Much better defended. Owls throw it quick on a slant and came up a couple shorts. This is such a weird game. And we like to control the ball now until the second half. I like our look here. We're going to run this to the right. Well defended again. Getting up to the line. They're going to bring some pressure now. And it's behind him. No, there was so much room for one of the fastest players on this roster. We head to the air again. Third down. Alba comes back for it and then turns upfield with the first down grab. It's a throw, batted at the line of scrimmage. Nice job getting in the way there as Grant opens 10 for 15, 88 yards. I think I want to open up the passing game a little bit, try to stretch the defense, get some nice isolated underneath matchups. So we're going to head to the air. Lofting right to Alba. Second big catch on the drive. You don't want to put your pass game in too much of a box, or it just feels like you can't get anything going. Here's a screen. Alba, third catch now, inside the 15, and he's stopped at the 10. 57 yards on 3 plays. That's the kind of game changer he is. Alba now the motion man, but it's going to be Pokai Hunga, and Rice calls a timeout. What is this? Number 9 is in the game. That's Rashawn Coleman. So a new quarterback is in. It's not Gerald Ogletree. And Coleman running by design. Only gets a couple. I thought we had a little bit of room there. And now Grant back in after that run only brought us to the 5-yard line. Play clock winding down. Got the snap off in time. And there is Alba. Marked at the 1. They say he did not break the plane. And we come out here inside the 1. Power on power. We're going for it. Sneaking touchdown. Duncan Grant is in. And the Red Wolves take the lead. So we run it there with Rashawn Coleman one play. You know, it was just a spur-of-the-moment thing. I'm like, this ain't a bad time for a QB run. We're inside the 10. I want to force them to use a timeout. I know this next play I want to be a run. And it's not like anything else has worked brilliantly. So how about quarterback power? That time only got us 2 yards. We'll see if I ever go back to it. Rashawn Coleman does have some decent running attributes. And I have him listed, by the way, as the QB too, so that Ogletree doesn't get on the field by accident, because I have to manage his red shirt status. And I would surely like to get him some experience this year, but I just want to, like, you know, be intentional when that time comes. Anyway, it's an abbreviated 2-minute drill. Rice had to open with the run. Now they take the sack. It's Noah Herrick. We spent our final timeout. It's actually smart to run it here because I had to use timeouts earlier and now I can't stop the clock again. So we are going to get the ball back and might have time here for a play or two. J.J. Harrell to the 46. This is going to give us a Hail Mary chance. Man, I feel like I could probably get a little bit closer. 6 seconds is like pretty close to having enough time here. So how about quick out? Well, you got to throw it better. So now I have to throw a Hail Mary. All right, Grant's going to put this one up. Can we pad the passing yard requirements? I couldn't get around Hunga. Grant is sacked. Just trying to move around him, step up in the pocket. But no. 10-7 at the half. And what a strange half it was. This is going to be Keontae Bargava to open quarter number 3. And he's brought down at the 21. Would like to see if we could run the ball a bit better than we did there in the first half. But they're loading up the box here. Hunga will get us a yard. And we head to the air. Here is Tamar Alba. And it's through his hands. Pressure on the way, and flag down as Alba makes the catch. And they are going to catch us, I believe, here with a hold. I'm not sure if he really had to do this, but yeah, he was starting to get beat here and held on. 3rd down and 19 to the air we go. It's put up there for Alba, just out of his reach. Incomplete. Big opening here for Rice. We're actually having to punt from deep in our own territory. And they're going to have a short field now with a return to the 48-yard line. Man, that throw seemed like it was going to be potentially a big play for us. 1st and 10. Got to be a run to the right. Nope, they can throw it on first down. It's complete. And a first down, Owls. Back to their originally scheduled programming. Almas gets 3. Opened hot, but suddenly 13 for 59. I think we've had some answers, and now we're going to drop the safety. Creighton hands, and there's no getting to the edge. Bierman is there at the point. 5 TFLs. Good linebackers just sniff out runs, and they take away a lot of this outside stuff. 3rd down and 9. Inside running it now. They got 6, and now Almas is shaken up. And they're going to attempt to tie this game. 51-yard try. Here's the kick. It is good, and we're tied. Still looking for that really good possession we can be proud of. 1st and 10. And this is terrible. Back to pass on 2nd down for Bush now, and he can't squeeze it all the way through. So it's 3rd down and 13. They'll bring some pressure off the edge and force a Duncan Grant throwaway. Good defense. Pistol wingback is this formation. I'm seeing 3 tight ends, a fullback, and the backup running back. Not much. If they're going to run this much, just follow 33, and he's putting on a show. But they're going empty now. Could this be a quarterback draw? No. Creighton over the middle. Hold in. Monty Gayton, who had that 40-yarder for them earlier. Handoff, and there's Max Souls on the tackle. 3rd down has been a rushing down for them today. But they do come out empty. Their passing game has been pretty simple. Creighton here. Oh, that's a lot of room for him to run, and he'll take it. A 1st down across the 30, and he slides. Creighton. He flips it at the last moment, and then the tackle's made by Keon Dunlap. 3rd and a dozen. Pressured and on target. It's caught shy of the mark. And they're content getting to the field goal team again. For an Owl lead, the kick is good from Ben Slovis, 13-10. We're going to start this drive now with 4 receivers down 3. Quick throw on the outside. Stephen Harris angles outside, makes a man miss, and then gets pummeled around the 40. Not the most dynamic receiver there with the ball in his hands. Again with the RPO game, and Hunga through the middle. Finally gets some room. 2nd and 1 now. We open this playbook up as they send pressure. Grant incomplete. They're all over Jabari Bush. They've covered extremely well. Only a 3-man front here, running on 3rd down. Hunga angling out. It's trouble for Royce. Out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Changing the play. We can call audibles because we've quieted this crowd down. It's going to be Keontae Bargava, the dynamic freshman, with a run to the 11. Basically 2nd and goal here. It's still 2nd and 10, but Westerman's going to make the grab for us. These yards down here are really tough to get right now. Here's a big 3rd and 6. Grant back to pass. Rolling and sacked. Get into some of these plays, and it does eventually get tough to make hot routes and adjustments. I don't want to rush this kick. Just take us to the 4th quarter. Got to find a way to win an ugly one here today. Pretty evenly played, though. Time of possession, yards per play, 3rd down conversions. And hopefully after this kick, the scoreboard. 36-yard try. Amaya. And he's 2 for 2. And we'll see what awaits us here in the remainder of the 4th quarter. Rice ball. And they're at the 16. A lot of eye candy and a run. That's going to lose him 3. Now it's on your quarterback, Creighton, and he's under pressure. Heaves it out of bounds. Well covered everywhere. And it's 3rd down and 13. Off the fake. Short throw to the running back. He's not going to get there. Harrell. This has a chance to be a good run back. He angles outside and runs out of room at about the 24-yard line. Changing the play now at the 24. It's going to be Pokai Hunga. Running game has been very slow moving today. Damar Alba is the motion man. Play fake. Lofting back of the end zone. He almost pulled it down. 3rd down, picking up pressure is Hunga, and the ball comes out a little bit late. Hunga initially, gave us a little bit of time, but that deep comeback, maybe a tick earlier, but still going to be a tough throw regardless. Amaya drills his 3rd straight field goal to retake the lead 16-13. Rice has only attempted 11 passes on the day. And here they are, down by 3, running into the blitz of Grant Bierman, who continues to rack up TFLs. He has 7. Almost every tackle he's made is a TFL. They need 8. Creighton's going to have to throw for it. He's pressured, throws it short. Nice spin. What a play. 1st down thanks to Monty Gayton with a heads-up spin. I mean, come on, you can't fall for that. He can't spin outside of you or he goes out of bounds. Completely saved the drive. Screen. And didn't follow his blocks very well, no gain. Fake. Creighton now flips it ahead. And a nice pickup. This team does not want to throw it more than like 5 yards down the field. But they get the drive back on schedule. 3rd down, and they try to run it and lose another yard. Their play calling has been bizarre the entire time. And J.J. Harrell awaits. And again, we might have a good return here. This speedy Harrell, one of the most dynamic players in the conference. Good return. Inside give and running room for Hunga. That's a 1st down. Jabari Bush motions. And this is going to be tricky here. A foot race that he can't win. And now 3rd down and 5 for Arkansas State. Throwing over the middle, wide open. J.J. Harrell, 1st down. A throw going to Alba, gets a block. Now inside the 10 and brought out of bounds. It's goal to go. Looking to go up 2 possessions finally. Hunga gets a block and he's brought down inside the 1. Handoff and no, couldn't score. Steven Katula was the ball carrier. D'Angelo Cooks checks into the game. He gets this handoff and again stood up. We're at the 1, and it worked once before. Can we get in with a quarterback sneak again from Duncan Grant? First, we're going to run this play clock down and try to go up 2 possessions. Rice looking for the goal line stand, and Grant is in for his 2nd touchdown. Arkansas State up by 2 scores for the very first time. Well, your guess is as good as mine as to how this offense is going to look in the final 2 minutes, knowing they need 2 scores. It's a run to the fullback. They're committed. Creighton back to pass. Over the middle. He couldn't hold on to it. And it's 4th down. Owls need 5. And we bring 5. Creighton to the outside. He's got 6. Creighton over the middle. This one's held on to, and they have crossed the 50. Creighton floating. Almost picked off. Really good coverage by Cameron Keys. Haven't gotten many chances to talk about the cornerbacks today. They fake it, and now Noteboom with the pressure forces Creighton to throw it away. Another 4-man rush, and Collins is there. Creighton gets rid of it, and now 4th and 10. Too far to kick. They've got to actually stretch the field a little bit. Creighton needs it here. Has receivers downfield. To the end zone they go. Broken up by Keys. And that should just about do it. If they came down with that, you know, could have been an interesting finish. Nice play by Cam Keys, and we'll look to wrap this one up as Hunga carries to the outside, tackled in bounds. Inside handoff, that's Steven Katula. He'll go down, and we will put this one away and win our very first game in the American Conference. Final score 23-13. You know, unless we play Rice again with the same offensive scheme, we'll probably never see another one quite like this. Duncan Grant sneaks in 2 one-yard touchdowns, but this was a strange game. I don't think we ever really got comfortable offensively. I thought Rice played pretty well on defense, but their offense just was not enough. They only averaged 4 yards a play and 2.3 yards per rush. I thought our run game was kind of mediocre, and we were at 3.1. They were 4 of 15 on 3rd down. We were 4 for 14. So there's a lot to work on here coming out of this matchup. Creighton 14 for 22, a buck 46. Their running game produced 55 yards with running back Brian Almas. Powell had 14. Creighton had 15. But when they did try to throw it, their passing game didn't have very much creativity. A lot of slants and just dump-offs into the flat. Couple over the top. You know, they got Gayton on 1 in the first half. That caught me by surprise. But it was like the only one of its kind. For us, it was, you know, not a great day through the air. Only 192 yards. But it's just one of those games where if you don't make the big mistake, which we almost did early on the fumble 6, but just don't make mistakes, go get a couple touchdowns and win the game. That's the kind of game this had to be. So 18 to 31, you know, this is going to drag down our passing yard average. So now we're closer to 225. We're going to have to pick it up. I felt like their defense, though, you know, just had me a little bit uncomfortable, honestly. Hunga, 83 yards on the ground. Katula had 9, Bargava 18, and then Damar Alba got him the ball like 3 straight times on one drive. That led us to a score, 83 total though, as he leads the team. Bierman was excellent. Wasevich and Collins were also disruptive. Just 1 sack in this game. I knew that was coming with all those TFLs racked up. Grant Bierman is American Defensive Player of the Week. And we move to 2-0 and up to number 17 in the polls. While our next opponent, Duke, is 0-1 and they drop to number 22. So 2 games into the year, 44 of 72 for Duncan Grant, 1 touchdown and then 2 rushing. If we look at the deal breaker here for playing style, I don't know that it's accounting for all of the 2 new games he played this season, but it's a D grade for Ogletree. Obviously something that's going to be followed up on every episode. Pokai Hunga, 143 yards, 4.5 a carry. Getting the job done there. And then Damar Alba is the early leading receiver, and Jabari Bush is actually exceeding Xavier Johnson, who just doesn't really have that big play consistency right now at 9.3 yards per reception. And on defense, BJ Wasevich, Grant Bierman, they're both racking up a ton of tackles. Noah Herrick has 2 sacks. Charlie Collins, 1.5. And back into the recruiting now. So, Neville McCracken keeping us there neck and neck with Michigan. It might be a losing battle, but if we can have good luck with a visit maybe, I'm going to stay in it if we're keeping up that type of momentum. And then DeMarcus Sermons has us above Michigan. We're in first for Josh Casa, and look at that good momentum this last week. Got to get an idea of how heavily these other teams are going to recruit these players. So Lewis Irving, good shape. Ezekiel DeBeer, good shape. Steven Ricks, like no one's even trying. I do want to figure out, though, what we're going to do about some offense here. Marcus Funchess has us under Duke, but we had a really good week. Ron Best. I certainly want to do a little bit of scouting on these running backs. 85 change of direction, 88 acceleration. That's a good start. Give me 10 more points. I'll probably scout him all the way. 68 awareness. Gem, 88 speed. So he's not going to be like a burner, but that's decent break tackle. That would be a good skill set to get on this team. I need some running back talent, so we're not going to the portal every season. But I may have to find some other running backs to put on the board because, we're locked out here. And then, do you think you can come back in a battle like this with Clemson? Not counting on that. What about these 3 teams? Mississippi State's way out in front. Probably not. Maybe Antonio Weil? Maybe I'll just put some of these points into best. We already got ourselves a gem. Be nice to have a little bit more speed, of course, but let's not get too greedy there. So we're looking good in these battles already. Let's take a look at some of the pitches and how that all lines up. We don't have any of the top 3 yet for Neville McCracken outside of Coach Prestige. So that's an A- grade for us. DeMarcus Sermons, we only know as deal breaker of Conference Prestige. We got championship contender unlocked here for Josh Casa in addition to proximity to home. So that makes me feel good about when we get to the top 5. Our hard sells are going to be valuable there. Lewis Irving, next. Coach stability is important, and that's one of our lowest grades. But then he wants playing time, and that's an A+. We'll see where that one goes. Ezekiel DeBeer, A- Coach Prestige and B Conference Prestige. That's great. Steven Ricks, that's Conference Prestige. Ahmad Tiffin at linebacker, playing style, Coach Prestige. These hard sells look like they're going to be really favorable. And next up for Arkansas State, we are going to face the Duke Blue Devils in our second non-conference matchup. Now, I picked them on the schedule this year because they have a familiar face at quarterback. We've had a lot of players transfer away in this series, and one of them was Josh Flowers, a quarterback who didn't seem like he was going to have a great chance to ever start with us, and now he found his chance with the Blue Devils. His accuracies have developed really well. He took a leap I did not expect. He's a great runner, very fast, and we just played an offense that doesn't have me feeling prepared for a game like this. We just defended an offense unlike anything we're going to see. So I don't think I learned enough that can apply to this one. Nate Shepard at running back. Man, very, very dynamic. I want to see how well we can contain him. And the receivers. Mo Hag, the speedster. They're missing their second receiver, so insert Clayton Lloyd and Chase Tyler. How about the offensive line then? Adrian Juravicius as an 80, Bradley Smith, Brock Riker, Ahmad Rourke, and Jaden Ball. Pretty good tackles. That is set up pretty well. Jaden Ball versus Charlie Collins there. That's a prime matchup in this game. Their offense grades out better than the defense. Shaquille Phillip here at linebacker, 83 speed, 88 tackling. And, yep, a player that can cover too. So he's a do-it-all linebacker. What about that secondary? Kyron Condell, 83. And then the speedy, undersized cornerback, Vontae Floyd. These are the matchups I'm really excited to see how we play, because it seems like a very even playing field overall. And we're trying to move to 3-0 and continue our winning ways. And those alternate red uniforms look really good with that chrome helmet as we prepare for another non-conference matchup. I'm excited to get into this one. I think on paper, this is one of the most interesting games of the year. And I think we're lucky to play this one at home. And we'll send out the Red Wolves defense first as we get underway in the third game of the year. And it's taken from 1 yard deep, angling to the left and tackled at the 11-yard line. And we are reunited with old quarterback Josh Flowers. How will the defense look this week as Duke starts with the run? And a good run, too, from John Duck. Gain of 8. So Duck is their third down back. I think he'll play a lot of snaps. They also have Nate Shepard, number 17, more of their hammer. Flowers now on the keeper. He meets with Sevich. A quick tackle, gets in a push-up, and it's third down. Duke on 3rd and 4. Flowers steps up and takes off for the first down. Quick throw to the outside and bouncing right off the hit. Good play made by receiver Clayton Lloyd. Duke now 1st and 10. Flowers, pocket is pushed and he does not escape. Max Souls sacked for a loss of 8. So I assumed we'd be seeing their top tackle match up with Charlie Collins. He's actually on the left side, as the Flowers pass will get them back to the original line of scrimmage. But Jaden Ball, he's on the left side. So I'd expect a pretty quiet day from Devin Noteboom over there. It's 3rd down and 10. Flowers back to pass. Pressure on him, and he's dropped again. 2 sacks on the opening drive, and Herrick ends it. And that'll put the ball in the hands of this offense, and I'd really like to see the pass game open up. You know, ever since mid-season of last year, it seemed that we just have like this 5.5 to 6 yards per passing game, and we're not getting as much out of these playmakers as possible. We've only scored 23 in each of our first 2 games. I know that eventually we're going to have to show we can put up more offense than that. Today would be a good day to work on that. And Duncan Grant's actually going to open in the air. Xavier Johnson, a quick hitter, and a quick gain of 10. 2 tight ends in the game. The first run is a 3-yard gain for Pokai Honga. My initial impression of our run game is that it's not going to be quite as productive as it was a season ago. And Grant here on the move, incomplete. They cover up all but well. Our schedule has gotten tougher, and I feel Caleb Hicks was a really good running back that Honga doesn't perfectly replace. Honga has his strengths, though, and I think that we can make this run game work, but we got to throw the ball a little bit better. And now 3rd down and 7. Grant, he's incomplete, all but couldn't hold on. It's a much more even playing field with these DBs and our receivers. Rice had a pretty good secondary that wasn't easy to throw on, and Duke already making 2 plays. They'll get it back. 2 sacks on the opening drive has me feeling pretty good about the defense in this one. Duke with the run, and a big one too. Following blockers into the secondary is Nate Shepard. Shepard gets it again, squeezes through, and gets a Duke first. No, they marked him short. And they keep it with him on 2nd and short. It's Noteboom on the tackle. Duke with a run-first identity. Now Flowers throwing behind Shepard, and that should have been a very big gain. J.J. Harrell on the punt return just now bruised his hand. So he's going to miss a little bit of time, and Stephen Harris is the slot receiver as drive number 2 opens. And the ball's out. Held on to. Good hands, Jabari Bush. It's a run with Hunga. And it's enough to move the sticks. Loading up the box here on first down. It is a fake. And Grant's going to sky this one downfield. And it's incomplete. Johnson nearly had it. And it's one he really should have come down with. The DB looked a little lost here. Still trying to find our groove offensively, and especially through the air. Now back to pass. Grant goes down on the first sack for the Duke defense. I do want to say this latest patch on CFB 26, I feel is a very good one. I have a lot more sliders, at default 50, and I think coverage is playing really well, and just the overall balance of the game is improved with this update. So I'm enjoying the games a lot, just trying to get us to look a little bit better throwing the football. Duke ball as they get 5. A fake and a lob downfield. Caught! Gorey gives up a jump ball brought in by Clayton Lloyd. A run with Shepard, and he's looked really good so far. Hurdling through, he gets about 9. Shepard's athleticism is going to be a challenge to stop today as they get him on the edge. Sticking with Shepard through the middle. Any crease there, and he is through it at full speed. Thankfully off the field now. Shepard gets a breather. Duck is in the game. Flowers hands, and Duck cuts back. Heads inside the 5. Shepard's back, and he's the Wildcat quarterback now on second down. He brings motion, flips it forward. It's a gain of 1. Could be a run, could be a pass. Shepard on 3rd and 2 meets Grant Bierman. That's already looking like a huge addition and a perfect Samaj Bridgman replacement. Field goal team on for Duke as they will score first. Arkansas State ball, and spun past that first defender, but didn't really get us anywhere. We've seen some really good defense to start the year. We head to the air now on second down, and just as Johnson was breaking open. Oh, whoa! Abdominal tear for Noah Herrick. I saw there was an injury. It popped up after their field goal. I ignore them because 90% of the time it's just like, bruised pinky toe back in the game in 2 plays. Wow, that could be a huge loss. We all know how good Herrick has been these last 2 years. And now 3rd down and 17. Got to protect the quarterback, and you got to turn around to see the football too. Harrell never saw the ball. But much of our success last year came because of the defensive tackle position with Samu Tamanu Pepe and Noah Herrick. At least having Herrick back for this year was huge. But an abdominal tear could keep him out for a long time. And that's one of our thinner positions. So Stephen Doss is now in. And the throw goes to receiver Lloyd again. We're going to have to see how much of a push this interior gives us now, because this is uncharted territory. 2nd down, Duke. Flowers gets it away. It's 3rd down for Flowers. He fires. Wide open catch. Brought in by Chase Tyler. Back to pass. On target again. Lloyd, his favorite receiver today. They fake it to Shepard, thrown over the middle. Lloyd inside the 5 as Flowers goes for over 100 yards on the day. 9 for his first 11 passing. And now can we stop them from getting 6 on this possession? They go to Shepard, and he's going to work into the end zone. We're going to see how much different this defense is now. Here's the replacement now, Doss, and they're going to start off with a combo. Guard's going to work up into the second level, but Doss just never gets any push here. No movement. 4:26 to go in the first half, and no points on the board for Arkansas State. But a catch by Xavier Johnson will get us a first down, and we're going to pick up the pace a little bit here. Setting up the screen. And there's running room here for Hunga. Shakes a defender in the open field and makes it to the 49. Quick pass, and Alba doing what he can to pick up 5. And now DeMar Alba's down. What's going on today? Again, we're at home, so it's easier to change the play when I see something I like. Pressure's coming. Caught. Hunga on the outside. Out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Bruised ribs for DeMar Alba. Man, I can't imagine us suddenly being down 2 of our, most key players. 1 offense, 1 defense. So he should return shortly. As we'll balance out the formation. And it's a run. Hunga gets a couple, and now Vontae Floyd is shaken up. He's one of their better corners. Back to pass. And there's just not enough time. Our protection is noticeably, struggling compared to last year. We've had some changes at the tackle position, and I think that's where it's hurting the most. Probably got to keep Hunga in a lot more often. And Grant doesn't have really a good skill set for avoiding that pressure. He's rolling and cannot get it to Xavier Johnson. I wasn't trying to go hurry up. I guess I'll have to call a timeout there. Lots of work to do in this one. And I don't know why the thing there is off screen. But it's Amaya, and he will get us on the board. Duke ball now with under 3 minutes left to go, and they dump it out to Shepard around the block and a gain of 7. I would love for us to get one more drive here in the first half, but that requires getting them off the field in short order. They sweep it. There we are. Note boom, the first there, and a loss of 5. 3rd down and 8. Flowers. Out of the pockets, he finds an open receiver who just gets enough. I think that was one of Flowers' best plays of the day. Good movement, good decision there at the final moment. Flips this to Shepard. This looks troublesome. Huge play by Gorey. You got to get off that block, or Shepard might be in the end zone. A bubble screen. Good block set up too. And this is John Duck. He throws another screen. And they get Lloyd in the open field now. We're inside a minute. Clock might be our best friend here as we try to keep them out of the end zone a second time. Over the middle and dropped. Oh, this is Wildcat again. Shepard's the quarterback. He brings Duck, flips it to him. Duck first down and more. Across the 30. Duke calls their second timeout. Now Flowers. Pressured. Collins runs him down. That is huge. And now time running out on Duke here. 4. Can you get this play to only last a couple seconds? Completely mismanaged, and they're not going to get a field goal try off. Wow. That's how big that play is by Charlie Collins. And it's 10-3 at the break. Yeah, we got to slow down Nate Shepard somehow. Man, we got lucky on that drive. I was hoping we could open up the pass game more in this one, but the protection has made it really tough to trust. And we're going to start off the second half now with a false start on top of not having a good kick return. Very aggressive frontier. And we're going to throw the screen to Alba. Use his speed to get us 8. Motion man is Xavier Johnson on second down. And downfield, overthrown. Now needing 7, 3rd down, caught. Xavier Johnson. Grant takes another hit. And Rashawn Coleman checks into the game now for the 2nd time in this episode. And it's a bad loss of 4. What a powerful play by Columbus. Was just trying to get a little read option in there, a change of pace. And not much is working well here for us. It's going to be thrown again for Johnson. Good pickup, though, as we get to 3rd and short. They know what's probably coming here. Catula's in the game and just gets enough. Here's a screen again. DeMar Alba flashing the wheels. Turns a simple catch into another 1st down. And they've come out with so many of these aggressive fronts. I'm not trying to run into these. Not right now with this team. Rolling Grant, wide open Alba, inside the 10. Beginning to pick up the pace now. We're into the red zone. It's Grant and it's batted. Another quick pressure. Now 3rd down and goal. And it's Grant stepping up. Caught for the touchdown. It's J.J. Harrell. Great job that time by the offensive line. And there's our chance to tie it. 10 apiece. Got a game here in the 3rd. Flowers. Pinpoint throw. And a catch by Chase Tyler. I don't think I've hit that throw once in my life. Josh Flowers playing a pretty good game against his former school. Now he's going to run it. Flowers with a good pickup of 8. They'll throw on 3rd and 1. Flowers throws complete. And it's Tyler again. They're not really challenging Cameron Keys much. He's covering Mo Hag. 1st and 10. And it's going to be Shepard now to the edge. Hag throwing a good block, and Shepard's speed takes him to the 30. Another one to the outside. This time duck. Hag again with the good blocking on Keys. Duke 10 yards away. Keep it on the ground. It's Shepard untouched, and he puts the Blue Devils back in front. This is a completely different run game to try and defend. Nate Shepard is really tough to contain. And keep in mind, in a couple games, we get Bo Jackson. We've got to keep up the momentum off of that last possession. Arkansas State football and a really good run to start the drive. Pokai Hunga with a burst of 29. New set of downs and wide open. It's Bush. They send the linebacker, and again, Bush makes the grab. We found a bit of a rhythm. I knew we had to work on this early in the game because I didn't want to have to, all of a sudden start turning it on if it got, in this situation in the second half. That's why I was trying to get here from the start of this game. 6 yards now for Hunga. Play action. And downfield, it's caught again. Jabari Bush holds on at the 12. Hunga's out. D'Angelo Cooks is in, and he holds on. That was a dangerous play. Tried to beat their blitz, and they had that linebacker replaced really nicely. 3rd quarter wrapping up as Hunga runs and breaks the plane. Touchdown, Arkansas State. That's 3 straight touchdown drives now in the 3rd quarter. We could be in for a really fun finish. But we're going to have to play some defense if we're going to go to 3-0. We have to find a way to slow down Flowers and this running game. 3rd quarter wrapping up here with this play, a sack of Flowers. Grant Bierman. But Flowers has shown he can make plays through the air as well. They'll hit a screen now. And tackling Hag, who makes his first reception of the day. We back off the secondary, 3rd and 12. Flowers trying to keep the drive alive for Duke as he steps up, dumps it, and we're going to get off the field. Here's J.J. Harrell, and it's returnable. Angling outside and running back to the 40-yard line. Inside give, and it's Hunga, 4 yards. Now heading back to the air. Dumped, and a flag is down, which could bring back this first down. Another holding. Holding is oftentimes very hard to overcome. That's just thrown out of bounds. Probably didn't need to attempt that. Thought he was breaking open there on that deep corner. And now 3rd down and 16. After the holding wiped out a first down, we're going to be punting the ball back. Flowers starts the drive with an accurate ball. Caught for the first. He's over 200 yards. Motion Shepard out. He hasn't carried the ball here in a little bit. Flowers sideline too low. It was our 4th quarter defense that helped us get the win against Arkansas. Looking for another stop, and he somehow made the catch. Mo Hag holds on. I have no clue how. Now they go back to Shepard, and he's only going to get 3. But he does cross 100 yards. Now Duck gets the carry and a good run of 5. Duck is the running back. 3rd and 2. A counter. And got it. I've been trying to defend more of these sweeps. So I'm coming out with these like nickel blitzes. Trying to put that on the side where I think they could be running to. And Duck's going to now grind out 6 more. Quick throw. Keys is there with the hit. It's incomplete. 3rd and 4, Blue Devils. Flowers feeling the pressure. He's sacked. Charlie Collins will end this drive as well. Knew he had to get aggressive there. The defense in the 4th quarter continues to get it done. Under 6 to go now. As we get the ball back again, but inside our own 5. Another great non-conference game as we will run inside with room. It's Hunga. Just everything has been opening up for us. Making it across our own 20. Here's Harrell bouncing off, and now watch out! You gotta catch him! Harrell flying sideline to the 10-5 touchdown! We finally break the big one! There are some big-time playmakers on this team, and honestly, this wasn't even the right read. But he bounces off that tackle and turns it into the right read with that blazing speed. He's not going to be an easy player to replace ultimately, as he is a redshirt senior. And the extra point puts us up 7. And can this defense continue to dominate in the 4th quarter and give us another win? Duke with Flowers going down. The 6th sack of the day. And it's Doss replacing Herrick, who bursts through. Steve Doss. Now they dump it outside to Duck. Really good pickup now in what I assume is 4-down territory for them. We haven't seen a whole lot of Nate Shepard here later in the game. And now empty for Flowers. Can he get them a conversion? Looking for 6 yards. Flowers, good coverage. Puts it up deep, and it's knocked away. Marcus Gorey Jr. And they are bringing out the punt team. Kick deep to J.J. Harrell. And this time they contain him better. Can we run this clock out? Can we go up 2 possessions potentially? 2:58 to play in the game. Steven Katula starts us with a minimal pickup. Had different plans on this play, but we're going to change it now. 2nd down and 9. Honga inside, and he'll have it. They just didn't have anybody there. I came out wanting to throw a swing pass. Katula now gets stuffed, and Duke looks to be out of timeouts. Another run, and that closes in on Katula. We'll have to run another play ahead of the warning now. So you could run it here and make sure the warning is ultimately hit, but we're going to play it a little bit more aggressively here. 3rd down and 8. Thrown over the middle. Johnson the catch, and that is going to seal it without Josh Flowers getting the football for another drive. Really good game. Arkansas State will come out on top again and improve to 3-0. When they went up 17-10, I didn't have a great feeling because we had no answers for Shepard. It felt like we were going to have to score a few more touchdowns to pull this off. But the second half was so good for us. We had a few touchdown drives. The defense stepped up. We got the lucky big play to J.J. Harrell. And once again in the 4th quarter, we're getting stops, we're getting sacks, and we're keeping them off the board. Like Arkansas, Duke does not score in the 4th quarter. We win 24-17. And this passing game, by the end had finally figured it out. We averaged 10 yards per pass today, 19 of 29, 289 yards. That is more like it. 2 touchdowns, no picks. And then the running game wasn't doing much, but I didn't want to just forget about it. And the second half runs were working much better. Honga, 75 yards on 12 carries. And then through the air, Johnson, now 70 yards, 38 after the catch. Alba, 40 of his 53 were after the catch. But J.J. Harrell gave us that huge spark. And with this passing game and these playmakers, we should be finding ways to get those big plays. So it's nice to get that one, to connect. Then the pass rush showed up often enough today. This is a good performance with 6 sacks. We'll see what it's like now replacing Herrick going forward. But with Charlie Collins, I think we'll always have a chance to still have, win with pass rush. Josh Flowers, I thought played well, but did not make enough plays there in the 4th quarter. And I don't know why they stopped really using Nate Shepard, because we never found an answer for him or the running game really in general. They're probably just lacking a couple 3rd down conversions to get some more rushing opportunities. What were their 3rd down stats today? They were, 7 of 13. So they converted a bunch of them. The seniors came to play today. Grant, Johnson, Harrell, Collins. That's what I'm talking about. 3-0 with 1 non-conference game remaining down the road, as Charlie Collins has broken the American career sack record. Setting records everywhere. Let's check the injury report with Noah Herrick now set to miss the next 5 games. It will be tough to replace him now going forward. We'll play USF in our next matchup as we return to conference play again. USF and then Memphis will be next. So we get 2 games in the American. Both teams starting off undefeated. And then we have to face Texas. I think we're at least laying a foundation to be prepared for that matchup as best as we can. Taking care of the football so far this year, and Grant did have the yardage in that game that I'm targeting on a weekly basis. 29 pass attempts to get to 289, that's a success. Playing style is still showing as a D for Gerald Ogletree, so we'll see if we can build upon that last performance. Pokai Honga has 5 yards an attempt, so it seems that this transition's going pretty smoothly. And then DeMar Alba, still the team's leading receiver with 208 yards. And the sack leader, Charlie Collins, 3.5. Herrick had 3, but now won't play again until late in the season. Back to our recruiting board. Not much has changed here with Neville McCracken, but a lot of these players have now narrowed it down to their top 5 schools so we can set visits and begin to hard sell. I know I spoke earlier about wanting to find another running back to put on the board, but I think that we're going to stick with Best as the only one as long as we have the loan offer, and consider Keontae Bargava to be that running back that gives us more of the speed and dynamism element. Feel really good about this Ezekiel DeBeer situation. The 3 pitches that he's focused on are all really good fits with us. We're in first place. We're ultimately in first place for all the players I'm targeting right now outside of Neville McCracken. We're going to set up our first visits now of the year. This is a competitive battle for DeMarcus Sermons. As far as our remaining home games, they are against lower tier opponents. So we're going to go week 6. It's still a couple games out, and I think I'll be able to get enough complimentary visits into this one. I might wait until I have a third pitch on Sermons, actually, so it's an A grade. But I would like to hopefully see McCracken narrow it down to his top 5 and get him on an early visit. But we'll at least get like Ezekiel DeBeer scheduled, and we'll focus on Coach Prestige. And then we'll get linebacker Ahmad Tiffin on the same. So the team's looking pretty good. The recruiting board's looking good. We're in excellent shape here. A quarter of the way through our 4th year with Arkansas State. We're going to get some conference games coming up next time, trying to extend this undefeated start. We have not lost a regular season game now in quite some time. As far as the slider update for today's video, they've only changed slightly with this latest patch. So the user run blocking, we're finding that it can go under 50 and be pretty balanced now. I did feel like on 50 it was, a little easy, some big running lanes. So 45 is the value I have right now. It might be able to go lower, but I'm finding pretty good balance with it. Pass defense reaction time is down from 51 to 50, and I'm really happy to see that on 50 coverage, 50 PDRT, 50 threshold, that coverage is just very competitive, and there's a lot of good back and forth when the ball's in the air and there's a chance for both players in the area to make a play on it. That's when you're in a good spot, when there are more contested catches, contested drops, and I think that the battle there between the receivers and DBs is playing out really nicely. Then the user or the CPU run blocking I have at 53. I don't want to go too high with that because then you start to get receivers that all block at an elite level, and I think 53 offers a good point of balance. 50 pass blocking, if you want to go higher, you probably can, but I do think it's rather balanced, and consider we're getting sacks with a really good pass rush, but it's not quite as often as it was even a year ago. So I'm enjoying the games, and I can't wait to get more 2-game episodes headed your way this week as we continue Season 4. Leave your feedback down below on what you think of Season 4 thus far and the team now at 3-0. Have a great day, everybody. I will see you in the next one.